Welcome to the virtual streets of Chicago. Today we're here for the Bonfire Racing League race number 8 for today's the Rollie 77. Good morning to our viewers here on Legends Racing Network. Glad for you to join us. As I have a shorter race than normal here for the Bonfire Racing League. A little bit normally have about a 90-minute race. It's gonna be a little bit shorter, maybe about 20 minutes shorter today, as we only have 35 laps. So about a minute and a half lap time, so we'll see how that turns out tonight. But first, we're gonna set the grid today. So 2 laps and 10 minutes to set your best lap of 2 here for qualifying. So we're gonna get some of these drivers getting out onto the racetrack to start setting their lap times here. So Kyle Lunat coming through turn number 2 now. The first drivers out on the racetrack. There's a few other drivers: Brandon Finley, David Brenner. Switch for all. They go over the bridge there, down into the hard braking zone of turn 6. This is a very tricky corner here, very narrows up here a lot. Also going downhill into that braking zone, a really tough corner. Coming through Congress Plaza now, this really kind of left-hand carousel. The tricky corners of 10, 11, and 10, 11 there. And now down over the bridge again into turn 12. So we'll start lap number 1. He'll be the first driver to set a lap. So it's first for all. Going to start his lap. He's coming down into turn number 1 here. And hard on the brakes, going to get it right as close to that wall without hitting it. Very tough to do, but he didn't really push it out too far. Just trying to get a quick, kind of a banker lap in here. So we go. Small, gonna go off of turn number 2, down the straight, down the Lakeshore Drive here, down to King, and down into the really tough few corners, 3, 4, and 5. Let's get straight there, down the back straightaway now. Going forward that 5 machine down into turn 6. Push it all the way to the outside wall there. See how tough this braking zone is. Hard on the brakes, downhill. Car doesn't want to slow down. Kind of as close to that wall as you can. And here's another wall you kind of as close to. Watch this wall on the left as well. And try to hug this left-hand wall through turn 9 into turn number 10 here. Watch these bumps. These bumps can get very tricky. Gets hard on the brakes down into turn 11. Take it right to the outside wall there, off of turn number 11. Now down to the turn number 12. Sprawl off of 12. Lap number 1 will be complete. It'll be on top of the board, no doubt, as he's to be the first lap. First trying to set a lap sprawl. That time 130.764. At the top of the board for now. Here's Jose Medina coming through Congress Plaza, kind of the carousel. Michael Sara goes to the G number 2. Carlo Knott goes to the top of the board as the times are starting to flood in now as everyone completed their first lap. Jose Medina off of the final corner here. We're going to come across the front straightaway, across the line, complete lap number 1. It will be a 133.066. Jason Langer go to the top of the board as well there. Let's see on lap number 2. We'll see if we can pick up here on lap number 2. You see 4 and 5. You can see those brakes glowing a little bit through turn 4. Now they're the back straightaway here. Hard on the brakes, down into turn 6. Jason Landry can go. Currently on top of the fourth age, 128.484. David Medina, see the next one close enough. 4/10 off of that lap. Through the carousel. Down to turn 10, really pushing over those bumps, trying to get everything out of this lap he can now. Off of turn 11. Down the hill into turn 12. You're hard on the brakes. Is it going to be enough to better that first lap? Landry coming to the line. We'll see. Is it going to be enough? I think it will. Landry, 128.169. He'll pick it up. 167. He'll pick it up at about a couple tenths. He'll put it on the pole once again. David Medina completed both his laps already. Also picked up about the same amount of time as well. Swirl. Sitting in pit road. David Owens also sitting in pit road. Nick Mills. Here's Nick Mills, our last week's winner at Echo Park Speedway, or Atlanta. This year on lap number 2, first lap, a 132.524. We'll see if he picks up here on lap number 2. It's out of the turn 11. Over the ridge. It's out of the turn 12. Zero. Come down the front straightaway under the stoplights, across the line. Nick Mills will run a 132.524. It was faster, but it was invalidated. He did tap the wall, so that lap will not count. Here comes Zach Clausen completing his lap, 144.065. Oh, 143.189. Michael Sarr on lap number 2 here. Actually, on lap number 3, just practicing pit road entry. Christopher Law and David Owens, other two that have not set a lap. Brandon Shelton and Jacques Duval, last 2 drivers to set their laps here. So Brandon Shelton and Jacques Duval, 2 of our pro drivers here. Oh, but Shelton's gonna get in the wall in turn 6, gonna push it a little bit too much. That's going to cost some time, and Jacques Duval as well coming off pit road, so they both have to reset. They both have just enough time to set. Both have enough time to set 1 lap. Those tires won't get up the temperature perfectly in time as Duval's going to hit the wall again. Try and keep it going, but it gets harder. The race locks it up into the barrier again. You have to try and go one more time. He was not going to have enough time to get a lap in here. Let's see if Brandon Shelton, we'll see. I think he may have got out a little bit too late. He needs to get back to the line in about 40 seconds. I don't think he will, so Brandon Shelton, I don't think he will be able to get back in time. So Brandon Shelton is going to try and run some practice here. Don't think he can get back in time. He has to get back in 20 seconds to make the lap, make a completed lap. And he's just halfway through the lap there, so not going to have enough time to complete this lap. So that means Jason Landry will be on the pole for the race, for today's race. Overdrive there for Shelton, but we're just going to Brandon Shelton doing a little bit of practice. He's to the wall again. But off of turn number 12, going to complete his out lap, but not going to be able to complete this next lap here in time. We'll see how he can do on this lap. So instead of the turn 1. So nice and safe off that outside wall there. Down to the turn number 2, hard on the brakes. Just right to that curb, right to that wall. Chicago Street Course, very tough racetrack, walls everywhere. You can't push it at all. Not like doing if you push it overstep it just a little bit. If you overstep it a little bit, you kind of go off into the grass. But here, if you overstep it, you're really straight to the wall, and you're giving yourself wheel damage. And probably going to ruin your day. So you don't want to do that here in Chicago. down into turn number 6 now. Only 15 seconds left on the clock. Not going to be able to complete his lap, but just kind of seeing where, trying to get some clean laps, some clean practice in. So he's doing here for turn 7, it'll lose into turn 8, and the time will run out there. So Jason Landry will be on the pole for today's race. So these drivers about to start gritting up as we have a 35 lap race here today. 50% fuel, so you're gonna have a one-stop race, probably around 15 to 20 laps. You can really stretch it pretty far, depending on how much you're saving, and kind of depending on your technique. But fuel, that's not really gonna be necessary, as it's gonna be a one-stop no matter what here. So it's gonna be a easy one-stop. So probably some of these drivers pit around halfway, and that will be it. But also could have a threat of a caution. That is depending on if we have a certain amount of incidents in a certain amount of time to have the ideal number. It's 13 incident points within 3 seconds. That is the trigger for the caution. So driver's control, that will be controlling this race today for the automatic full course cautions. But we'll see if we get any of those. Our best chance of getting those will probably be on lap number 1, but we'll see if we get any of those. But most likely we will stay green pretty much the whole way through. That's still a 35 lap race for 77 miles. Today's the Rollie 77. But these drivers on the grid getting ready to go for today's race. Last week's winner, Nick Mills, is going to start a little bit lower than what he wants to tonight. Today. He's going to be starting 8th, so not terribly. That's still pretty decent starting spot. Now we're going to start rolling off here on to the red straightaway. Get this race rolling. So we have 35 laps, 77 miles here from the streets of Chicago. We got 2 drivers electing to start from pit road there. So they work their way down Lakeshore Drive, down into turns 3, 4, and 5. Let's take a look at our starting lineup for today's race. The Rollie 77, Jason Landry will be on the pole in that 56 machine. They will on 28.167. David Virginia Sr. only 4/10 off of that. We'll start with P2 with that 9 machine. Starting P3 will be the 55 of Jared Kelly, and Kyle Lanat will start 4th. The 988 machine. Starting 5th will be in the 5 machine will be Christian Morrell, and David Owens will start 6th in that 8 machine. Starting 7th will be the 45 of Stephen Neal, and the 20 on Nichols. I believe these two elected to start from pits. So actually no, they didn't. They got back on the grid. They got on the grid in time. But Stephen Neal will start 7th, and Nick Mills will start 8th. Starting 9th will be Brandon Finley and that 48 machine, and Kevin Kyle will start 10th. Matt Schofield will start 11th, and David Morrell will start 12th. Starting 13th will be Michael Sara, and David Brenner will start 14th. Starting 15th will be Gerald Rose, 16th will be Todd Dunn, and that will be our 17th will be Zach Claus, and 18th will be Zach Clausen will be 17th, and Jackson Hall will start 18th. Starting 19th will be Jose Medina, and Ricky Mandela will start 20th. Starting 21st will be Brandon Shelton, Michael Bennett will start 22nd, and that will be our 22-car field here tonight. And I am a little late on this, but we did have a little special guest, a little cameo. for these drivers today. Start their engines.
Good morning, everybody. Larry McReynolds here with NASCAR and Fox. You know, America's crew chief. Welcome to the Bonfire Premier Cup Series. You know the deal. All right, all right, all right. Drivers, start your engines. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go iRacing.
Thank you, Larry Mack, and the pace car is off. We're getting underway and ready to go here for the Chicago Street Course. Green flags in the air. We are underway for the Rollie 77. Part of the race down in the turn one, everyone to keep it together. No, never mind. They got a few drivers around. 55 goes around, and that will bring out our first caution of the night as we hit the incident limit there. So the first caution of the night, or of the day, coming out there. So a few drivers going around. Kelly being one of those going around from the front of the field. Let's take a quick look at that one. That's hard in the race down here in the turn number one. Jared Kelly. He turned around. Oh, the 9 got into the 55 there. So David Medina got into the 55 after, but they also made contact behind them. Kyle Lanot gets in a little bit deep into the corner. So Kyle starts back here with Kyle Lanot. Let's get a wider view of this here down in turn number 3. So he gets later in turn 1. So he gets later in the race, locks it up. Actually, wasn't Kyle Lanot. Sorry, that was Christopher Small. So Sproul gets up a little, the race a little bit wiggly, locks it up, tags the 8 there, tags a few more, and that will be the first caution of the night. So the 8 machine goes around. David Owens getting tagged in that incident there, but that first lap. Let's see if it will take the race lead as actually no, it will be Jason Landry just popping up on the timing scoring there. Now Jason attempt to catch the pace car. We'll kind of see where that pace car is on the racetrack. Pace car now down the back straightaway, actually down into turn 12. So Jacksonville, so half the field kind of getting stuck behind the pace car there. So might be a little bugged. We'll see. Jason Landry is scored as our race leader currently. So 5 drivers getting stuck behind the pace car from that. So you think they should be able to get their wave arounds. Jason Landry tries to catch back to the pace car, as he'll this time by complete lap number 2. Jason Landry will PR race to this. All those drivers will get the wave around. Be able to get back going. So caution early on in this one here from Chicago. So we're going to take a quick break. It will be right back here from Chicago.
Season 13 of Bonfire Premier Cup Racing is proudly brought to you by Animal House Customs. Also a sponsor for Season 13, KK Woodscapes, bringing your virtual victories into reality. And finally, but not least, the Swanley Golf Association. This sponsorship is brought to you by Matt Schofield and the number 61. The Rollie 77 Chicago Street Race is brought to you by Stephen Neal and the number 45. Thank you for your support in Season 13. LeagueNewsWeekly.blog, your one-stop shop for all your favorite iRacing leagues, schedules, standings, and more. Scan the QR code to get more information.
Welcome back here to Chicago for today's the Rollie 77, and we were about to go back green and we're doubled up, but we did delay the green there, so to have one extra pace lap here once again. So we're going to be starting here with 30 laps to go next time. Bye. Jason Landry, our race leader. Kyle Lonat stays P number 2. Nick Mills will stay 3. Christopher Sproul will stay 4th, and Stephen Neal will round out the top 5 when we restart here. We'll take the one to go signal next once again, as Fields trying to catch back up from that original incident. First caution down in the turn number lap 1, turn 1. So far, Jason Landry leads the field. Let's see. qualified on the pole and able to keep the lead into turn 1. Avoid all the chaos, not having to be in the middle of the pack. Just really hoping there was no caution there, because there wasn't any caution. He was going to have a pretty big lead already, as they all crashed behind them, but everyone keeps it back together. David Medina got into David Owens got into by Christopher Small. David Medina went around as well from that second place spot. So Landry would have had a pretty big advantage there if we stayed green, but we'll see how it goes this time by, as we'll be 30 laps on to go on this restart. To get this race back underway here with 30 laps to go. Still majority of the race left to go here. The pace car will take that hard right turn on to pit road, and green flag back in the air here from Chicago. Landry gets on the loud pedal. He'll clear easily down to the turn 1. They'll leave Nick Mills and Carl Lanat side by side as Lanat gets harder and deeper on the race. He'll stay around the outside, gets clear on the brakes, but now Mills goes back to the bottom, and Lanat's going to go around. He's going to collect the 45 there. Stephen Neal going to collect another driver. The 51 goes around Gerald Rose. As once again, these drivers struggling on the colder tires, getting up to speed. Just stay green. As Gerald Rose goes around, let's take a look at what happened there with Gerald Rose. As Stephen Neal got tagged by Lanat, as Lanat lost it. And then Lanat spun back into, then he went to Gerald Rose. Gerald Rose back in front of a few others. David being one of those again. Yeah, able to keep it stay green though, but Jason Landry already up to a 3-second gap over Nick Mills. Nick Mills sitting in second, so we're all sitting in third. And how close to that on the racetrack back here with Brandon Shelton, as he's a whole line of cars here. Led by David Brunner. David Brenner that got tagged, not Medina, early there in turn 1. So Brenner, even with the damage after the turn 1 incident there, able to keep it back going. He's trying to pull away from the rest of the field. Jason Landry's heading the fastest lap there, as Kyle Lanat will come down pit road. So far, kind of single filing out for now. No one able to stay side by side. Gonna be a battle behind them between Zach Clausen and David Buell. Burrell goes to the inside quickly as he went around and off to the lap 1, turn 1. Cliffy Medina. Jason Landry still at a 5-second lead already. He is just pulling away. Battle back here, Stephen Neal and Jared Kelly. Kelly trying to find his way by. We'll see if he gets a little bit deeper on the brakes down here in the turn number 6. Pull to the inside, get hard on the brakes a little bit deeper down the 6 and drive it in there. He's going to clear 45 to Stephen Neal. Over the bridge down into turn number 7. Get hard on the brakes. Very tough, tricky racetrack with a lot of bumps that really upset the race car. Make you slip and slide around, especially with these tires wear off after about 10 laps or so. It really gets tough. The car just wants to slip and slide around everywhere, and it's really tough to hold on to it. Just Rollie trying to hunt down Nick Mills now for that second place spot. He's kind of closed it down just a little bit. Finley trying to hold off Jared Kelly now. Trying to pull away from behind, but Kelly going around the outside of Brendan Finley into turn 2, and he gets a really good run there. Great pass there for the 55 of Jared Kelly around the outside. That's Stephen Neal followed him around the outside, but now down off of 3 into 4. Finley gonna get a little bit deep from the race, gonna have the shorter distance. He will clear for that spot. Brandon Shelton, David Owens, Michael Sara, David Brenner are in this one pack still. David Brenner's trying to pull away. David Medina Sr. just a little bit farther back there. Kind of closing the gap. He goes down to the inside. He'll get that move done. Michael Sara made a big mistake. Lost a lot of time, but Medina's trying to chase back down. Just started up front. Now going to get to the outside off of turn 12, and he gets that move done on Brandon Shelton. Salva even deeper in the race. Brandon Shelton down to the turn 1, trying to get to the inside. Not able to do it. Over Brandon Shelton, David Owens goes around to the turn 2. They got a little bit too deep on the race and just overdrove it. Spotted around, he gets back going quickly. Just lost the back end onto the race. Hard hit to the tire barrier there. He goes around. Back up to the battle up front. Jason Landry. Well, back up to the race leader. Jason Landry. He is pulling away 9 seconds down. He's just putting he is just putting time into the rest of the field right now. Landry just pulling away from the field. His last time was a 1:29.6. It was the only driver better than a 1:31. Everyone else has been in the 1:31s. So Jason Landry 2 seconds quicker than the entire field each lap. No one else is within that 130 bracket. He's in the 129s. Everyone else is 132s or worse, actually. No one else was in the 131s that last time by. Actually, Jared Kelly was the only driver in the 131s at 131.766. Everyone else was worse than that, except for Jason Landry being a 129.629. This one of the racetrack here between Brandon Finley and Stephen Neal, as Neal trying to chase down that 48 machine. They both went around David Brenner to the outside. A few laps to go. Finley going to start pulling away a little bit, but now David Medina Sr. to get on the back bumper. David Brenner for that 7th place spot, trying to chase him down the front straightaway. He's only 6/10 behind. He's going to try and try and get by him here soon. Being involved in a lap 1, turn 1 incident. Trying to chase Jason Landry back down, trying to get a little bit of time back in him. He's got a lot of front end damage, as you see there, in front of that race car. He did pit that last caution as well, so he can go a little bit longer if the caution came out. But really make a difference. You just stay out and the gap. Might be able to work out for you, but we'll see. So he's trying to fix a lot of that damage. He's got a lot of damage there from that first incident. Still the closest battle on the racetrack here with between Medina and Brenner. Down the short chute into turn 11. Brenner holding off Dave Medina just fine for now. He ducks down to the bottom. Going to get to the inside off of turn 12. He's going to get that move done, as I believe Brenner just lets him by there off turn 12. He's going to hold him up. Nick Mills trying to chase down Jared Kelly down into turn up for that third place spot, as Jared Kelly getting close to Christopher Sproul. Oh, Nick Mills hard on the wall behind. Hits that. He hit that tire very hard. Oh, he's going to get hit by Brandon Finley. Into the corner as well. Huge hit there for Nick Mills. I believe that will be his day over. I don't know how that car is still driving. I don't know how they didn't knock out that entire toe link there. He got very lucky. Let's take a look at what happened there. This all started down to the turn number 4. One of the tough corners on the racetrack. Down to turn 3, coming off 3. I think just got a little bit too deep on the brakes, lost it on the brakes. Overdrove it and hard to that barrier. It's really unfortunate there for Nick Mills. He's going to have to try and get it back going. Jason Landry still leads. He's pulled the gap out to 17 seconds with Jared Kelly closing it down on Christopher Sproul. Got that at about 7/10 of a second. Closest battle on the racetrack. This is the closest battle on the racetrack. Actually, well, no, David Medina. Actually, now 2 tenths behind Brandon Finley. As you had a few other drivers. Carl Lanat. Problem there, I believe, got on the wall in turn 4. It seems to be the culprit, and yeah, he is going to be done for the day. Maybe losing a little bit of time working through that traffic on Brandon Finley. But down it to turn 11. Yeah, trying to close down. Now you got Stephen Neal on the back bumper as well. So 3-car battle here for that 4th place spot. Jerry Kelly's not been able to get much closer to Christopher Sproul. Battle for this 4th place spot here. And they hold on to the spot for now. Jared Kelly falling off 7 seconds compared to Christopher Small. Let's take a look at what happened. I think they made a pretty big mistake here. Right down to turn 4. He's on the back bumper. He's a little bit deep on the brakes, so really big lockup. Oh, he's going to nose it into the tire barrier. Gotta get it back going. A lot of front end damage there. I hope that did not cause any engine damage. I'll slow him down there. David Dinier on the back bumper of Brandon Finley might have a shot this lap. And this time by will be 20 laps to go. It's down the front straightaway. Medina looks to the right, then ducks down to the inside, down into turn 1, gonna get hard on the brakes. He's gonna get that move done. And now David Medina moves back up to 3rd. Man on the mission trying to drive back up through the field from the lap 1 incidents. So far able to drive up to 4th, as now he's gonna try and chase down Jared Kelly. Jason Landry all by himself out in front, as he is now 20 seconds ahead of the field. Here with 20 laps to go, he can probably fit. You can do a little bit of the same he can fit now, but probably pit window will open to about 3 more laps. He can make it to the end on fuel from there. And he'll let Landry down. He's lap number 15 of the race. Jose Medina trying to get by Dave Buell. That's probably maybe just coming off the road. Not coming off the road, but Dave Buell gets passed there by Jose Medina. Matt Schofield's going to chase down as well. Not able to get much closer to Buell, but this is close to that on the racetrack right now. Between these 3 drivers of Dad Schofield, Dave Buell, and Jose Medina. Let's see the next closest between Brandon Shelton and David Brenner, about 1.4 seconds there, as Dave Medina is now starting closing on Jared Kelly. Jared Kelly nosing into the turn 4 tire barrier a lot earlier. Losing a lot of time now, a lot of front end damage. Wonder if this guy have some sort of engine damage, possibly. Unless he got lucky off of it. Didn't get any damage at all. Down into turn number 11 and 12. Now David Medina down to about 0.7 of a second, trying to get to that back bumper of Jared Kelly to drive back up to the top 3. Out to turn number 1. Medina going to dive into the inside of Kelly. Going to get close to the inside wall. They're going to stay side by side down the short chute into turn 2. Kelly now on the inside, going to try and hold him off, and he does. Great defense move there from Jared Kelly. Able to hold off Medina. Medina's going to try and go around the outside here in turn 3. We'll see if he cuts back, crosses back to the inside of turn 4. Not going to do it. He's going to wait his time, make his move down the back straightaway into turn 6. You have to focus on a good run off of turn number 4. Turn 4 and 5. Not going to be able to do it though. He's going to try. Just have to get the draft a little bit here. It's out of the turn number 6. See, deep on the brakes, a little bit faster. Have the draft out of the 6th. Be a little bit shallower entry. Can't be breaking the 7, but I don't think he's close enough. Let's try and set him up once again. These next few corners. Down into turn number 9 there, into 10 and 11. As tires really start to fall off now, so these drivers to be really scanning it through some of these corners, especially the bumpy corners. The car does really not want to grip through those corners, but now deep on the race into turn number 12. We get to the inside, gonna down, pull side by side as Jared Kelly. He got tight through the exit of the corner, stay side by side, but Battista with a good run, he's gonna clear Jared Kelly for that 3rd place spot. Takes the 3rd place spot there away from Jared Kelly. Jared Kelly trying to fight back, trying to hold on to that position. Stays pretty close. He's not able to pull away just yet. Now down the straight, down over the bridge, down the bridge, down hard on the tough brake until turn 7. Medina's starting to pull away a little bit. There's only 2 drivers that made their pit stop to make it to the end. It's Nick Mills and Michael Sara, both pitting 2 laps ago. They have not still yet to make their pit stop. In the pit window to make it to the end of the race. As there goes Jared Kelly now down pit road. And got more coming behind it. Brandon Shelton, David Brenner comes down pit road. So now the fuel running out for these drivers. So we're pretty much gonna have to see everyone down pit road next time by. They did maybe save a little bit of extra fuel under the caution, or maybe just topped it off under the caution. As Rollie comes out up pit road as well. Jason Landry down into turn number 11 already, just 36 seconds ahead of the field. He is pulling away in his own zip code right now, and down into turn number 12. He stays out of the racetrack. He's got a little bit more extra fuel actually. Down the straightaway, he'll complete lap number 19. So probably have to pit this time by. Landry's still staying out on the racetrack. Kevin Kyle trying to get by Jared Kelly now as Kevin Kyle yet to pit. Jared Kelly just coming off pit road with full tires. This could mean a lot. If Kevin Kyle got in front of Jared Kelly, slowed him down a little bit. Full tires, crucial part of this race. Sam Medina is sitting there in 2nd. He stays out on the racetrack. Jason Landry has a few lap cars in front of him, a little bit of lap traffic. Probably pit this time by, just try to avoid this traffic here. Be your best bet. Through turn 9. That's Jason Landry. Wondering when he's gonna make his pit stop. Losing a little bit of time to David Medina right now because he's in this traffic. Also 40 seconds. We'll see him probably come down pit road this time by. Yeah, there he goes. Jason Landry into pit road from the race lead. He'll probably keep the race lead off pit road. I don't think anyone can go any longer. Well, Medina can go a little bit longer because he did top off under that first caution we had. So Medina can go a little bit longer. We'll see if he does. I think Jason Landry will stay the race lead, honestly. Get a 35-second gap, that should be plenty. He's gonna get into his pit stall, take 4 tires in, top it off on fuel, be able to make it to the finish from here. David Medina, he's coming off the final corner now. He stays out on the racetrack, but Jason Landry already out of pit road. So Jason Landry still plenty of buffer to stay out in the race lead. David Owens trying to chase down Jose Medina as he's now losing a little bit of time now as he's yet to pit as well. Only 3 drivers yet to make a pit stop. David Ball now in pit road. As the driver in front of him, Stephen Neal, also in pit road as well. Straw just passed for that 3rd place spot as Brandon Finley down pit road. Brandon Finley coming off pit road now as well, so I believe everyone has made their pit stop except David Owens and Gerald Rose. Gerald Rose being involved in that restart incident. David Owens as well. As here comes David Owens, so everyone has made their final stop. Pretty much everyone has made their final stop, so now it's kind of a race to the finish here with 15 laps to go. Landry about 8 seconds ahead of David Medina for now. But David Medina yet to make his pit stop. Well, actually, he still has to make his pit stop. Medina will pit this time by, most likely, and he will be the final driver to stop. And Christopher Rawhill takes second this time by, as Jared Gilley tries to chase him back down. Christopher all here in second. About 10 seconds ahead of Jared Kelly in third. David Medina cycles out in fourth. About 3 seconds behind Jared Kelly. Jared Kelly actually taking 2 tires during that caution. Well, sorry, not during that caution, during his stops. So Jared Kelly 2 tire fault there. We'll see if that works out for him. Jared Kelly holding about 2 seconds. David Owens passes Jose Medina on. As Jose Medina on pit road there. That spot. That's just made a pass there. Jared Kelly trying to hold off now for third though, as David Medina hard charging. The hard charging David Medina as he was in that lap 1 wreck, and a lot of damage to fix under that caution. Yeah, try for the back of the field. He got up to third, and then he had the pit stops, and now he falls back to fourth from Jared Kelly taking 2. Just trying to chase down that 55 machine to steal that 3rd place spot back. Down into turn number 1. Oh, the car around there off the corner. Just, I believe that may have been Stephen Neal. He was still in pit road. There was another driver. Let's see who that was. A little bit too far forward there. We'll yellow car just out in front there. was Matt Schofield. So Matt Schofield around off turn number 2 here. Let's take a look. So Matt Schofield into turn number 1. Into turn number 2, just gets a little bit too deep on the brake, spins it around. He's running 12th at the time, and he spun it back around, able to get back going. David Dia now within 0.3 of a second on Jared Kelly. These two were putting on a really good battle earlier. See if they will do the same, but now Jared Kelly down the inside, on the outside in turn number 1. Medina drives down to the inside. Kelly gonna try to hold the outside. He did this before. Can he do it down again? Not gonna be able to do it. David Medina clears for 3rd. As David Medina moves up to 3rd, he's gonna have about 3 seconds to chase down Christopher Squirrel, who wants that 2nd place spot. David Medina really good drive, really good comeback drive here. He wants to try and get back up to 2nd. Getting a caution, he wants anything at Jason Landry. There's a little bit to go here in Chicago. Now Medina trying to chase down Squirrel for that 2nd place spot. So this time by will be, this Landry already taken 11 to go already, so this time by Medina should be 11 laps to go. And Jason Landry coming to 10 to go next time by, as he is 40 seconds ahead of the field. He can make an extra stop if he wanted to and still come out in front of the field. Oh, but Jared Kelly, big mistake off turn 12 there. Got on the inside wall. Let's take a look. I think we just kind of lost it off turn 12. Oh, got really deep into the wall. Hard of the barrier. Jared Kelly, big mistake. A little bit too deep on the brakes. We'll see if he can keep rolling. Looks like all the toe links are fine. Didn't break any toe links, so he can't keep driving it. He's sitting in 4th still after that big mistake there. Keep it going. Medina now trying to chase down Squirrel. Squirrel sitting in 2nd. Laps to go for Jason Landry, but Medina trying to chase down Squirrel. Actually, but got by Squirrel there. Oh, but Squirrel getting into the wall there in turn 3. Let's take a look at what happened. Oh, I missed this. So Squirrel just goes out. It's down in the turn. Gets loose off of turn 6. Oh, he just lets Medina by down the straightaway. But then Squirrel made a big mistake here into turn 7. And spun on the round, got him to a little bit too wide, had to avoid the outside wall, a hard hit. And that keep it rolling. Brandon Finley now trying to get by Jared Kelly. Jared Kelly comes down pit road trying to fix damage. So now with 10 laps to go, Jason Landry still holds the lead here. Still be coming to 9 to go this time by. While we have, we're going to take this moment to do our element, crank it up here from Chicago. Welcome back from our Crank It Up segment here from Chicago as Jason Landry still leads the field as he now laps, puts another car a lap down there as he tries to get by now Kevin Kyle right in front of him. As Brandon Shelton and Brandon Finley closest battle on the racetrack, about 1.2 seconds between those two drivers here. This battle for fourth. There's Jared Kelly be involved, make a really big mistake down to turn 12, going straight in the braking zone. Tyler Bear did come down pit road and has parked it, and now it's hauled back to 13. So Jared Kelly done for the day. Here with 6 laps to go. Fortunate there for Jared Kelly. Jason Landry holds the lead, but now Brandon Finley has some pressure behind him, but Brandon Shelton, the two Brandons, going to battle out for this top 4 spot. Is Finley going to drive it down to the inside of that lap machine on 51 of Gerald Rose into turn 12, but here comes Brandon Shelton, really going off turn 12, down the first straightaway into turn number 1. Going to drive it deep into the corner, not going to even get close enough yet. Charles Valley with third, a minute behind Jason Landry. That's how fast Jason Landry has been tonight. Well, today. So far, Medina holding that second place spot. It's just wrong, holding that third place spot. Down the back straightaway now. Should they chase him down? Time starting to run down just a little bit. About the racetrack right here between these two drivers. Is Finley will hold on. Last time by Finley at 133 and 219. And Shelton. Oh, but Shelton goes right off turn 7. And Brandon Shelton had a chance to get that 4th place spot, but lose it off of turn 7. I think just got on the gas a little bit too early, maybe a little bit too much wheel into it, and spins it out. Keeps it off the wall there. Got off that turn-off lane there. Luckily that wall followed that turn-off lane. If not, he would have been in the wall there. But that will no doubt end that battle for that 4th place spot. Now Jason Landry, he's going to try and put everyone a lap down. Next up is Brandon Shelton. As right in front of him is David Brenner. Trying to put David Brenner a 2nd lap down. It's David Brenner running 8th. Jason Landry with 4 laps to go. Every lap off one by one and get this race over. It just wants to see that checkered flag. But so far Landry holds the lead, and this will be a good race for him for the standings tonight. Oh, but 51, Gerald Rose goes around, almost wipes out Jason Landry there. Big hit for Gerald Rose. Lost it on the brakes, hits the inside wall. It's out on turn 6. He almost got Jason Landry there. That definitely would have been massive, but Jared Rose loses it, hits the inside wall. Oh, wow, Jason Landry. Very lucky there. Let's go on board with Jason Landry. How close that was to that back bumper. Jason Landry almost got a piece of that. That would have been devastating there. And he lost that, but Jason Landry are currently at the pro points leader after Echo Park Speedway last week. or Atlanta. Jason Landry, our points leader, our pro points leader, and tonight, David Enya Sr. He will be second, so he still won't lose too many points. But Jared Kelly having a bad race, Nick Mills not having a good race, David Enya and Jason Landry are going to be able to put even more points into the rest of the pro points field right now. The AM point standings, Michael Saras leads that, but Stephen Neal in second, 12 points out. Michael Saras sitting in 14th. Stephen Neal not having anything better. Currently our best AM driver, Brandon Finley. Brandon Finley seventh in points, 101 points out of the points lead there. The AM drivers, David Will sitting in 9th, and Matt Schofield in 10th. Matt Schofield gained some time there. Ricky Mandela, points there. Ricky Mandela. David Will was a little bit lower in the points. Gonna see how those shake out. So far, Jason Landry, our race leader, here with 2 laps to go, trying to get it back to that white flag. Down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Into turn number 6. But now Brandon Shelton trying to stay alive and not go a lap down. He's got one more lap to survive. I don't think he will be able to do it. Landry's all over that back bumper. Only 5 cars on lead lap. A white flag, 1 lap to go for Jason Landry. He put it on the pole and he's led every single lap tonight. Brandon Shelton into the wall in turn 1. He keeps it going, but the white flag for Jason Landry. He is dominated tonight. That's it. He's dominated today. He got the pole, and there's a few close calls. And lap 1, turn 1, and also turn 6, just a couple laps to go. But he was able to survive it. He was able to survive the cautions, able to survive the carnage, and able to keep the car under him. And he's been fast as well. He's now 50 seconds ahead of second place of David Medina Sr. But David Medina Sr. had to work his way from the back of the field, from the lap 1, turn 1 wreck, and he's dropped to second. That's how fast Jason Landry has been tonight. He's just pulled away from the rest of the field. And now through Congress Plaza for the final time, Jason Landry, our pro points leader, will extend his lead again in the final half of the season. Over the bridge for the final time, down into turn 12, Jason Landry, his own time zone, his own zip code tonight, off of turn 12. He's going to win at the street course of the streets of Chicago. Jason Landry wins at Chicago. He'll drive it back and try to keep it rolling, but here comes David Medina out through the final 2 corners, ready to complete his race. Brandon Shelton, Kevin Kyle, David Miller, and Steve Neal already done for the man. Everyone else finishing up here. across the line there. David Burrell will complete his race. David Medina will pick up second. Christopher Rollie sitting in third. He had a lot of front end damage there. Minute 16 back. Trying to close it down, but he's going to finish it off here in through turn 12. Christopher Rollie will take P3. As Rollie will take third, and Brandon Finley now through turn 12 will cross and take fourth tonight. Take P4. Our best AM driver. We'll talk to him in a little bit here in just a few seconds with Jason Landry and David Medina as well. Jared Kelly in 16th, Jose Medina in pit road, and that will finish it off as Jason Landry going to burn it down here on the front straightaway, on the front street here of Chicago. Very dominant performance. He led all 35 laps today. What a win for Jason Landry. That will extend his point lead again as he's going to try and burn it all the way down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Jason Landry celebrating and burning it down here. You can only jump in the fountain. Jump in the fountain in the park, just in the infield, virtually, but also in real life you can't do that either. But Jason Landry burns it down, and he celebrates. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back here from Chicago.
Season 13 of Bonfire Premier Cup Racing is proudly brought to you by Animal House Customs. Also a sponsor for Season 13, KK Woodscapes, bringing your virtual victories into reality. And finally, but not least, the Swanley Golf Association. This sponsorship is brought to you by Matt Schofield and the number 61. The Rollie 77 Chicago Street Race is brought to you by Stephen Neal and the number 45. Thank you for your support in Season 13. LeagueNewsWeekly.blog, your one-stop shop for all your favorite iRacing leagues, schedules, standings, and more. Scan the QR code to get more information.
Welcome back here to Chicago as we just wrapped up the Rollie 77 as Jason Landry, a dominant performance, able to win. Before we get to our interviews, let's take a look at our results for tonight, for today's race. As Jason Landry, our race winner, David Medina picking up second, Christopher Small picking up third, Brandon Finley fourth, Brandon Shelton finishing fifth tonight. Kevin Kyle sixth, David Owens in seventh, David Brenner in eighth, David Burrell in ninth, and Matt Schofield rounds out our top 10. Ricky Mandela finishing 11th, Jared Rose finishing 12th, Nick Bills in 13th, Michael Sarr in 14th, Stephen Neal in 15th, Jared Kelly in 16th, Jose Medina in 17th, Todd Dunn will finish 18th, Michael Benton will finish 19th, and Kyle Lanat will finish 20th tonight, 21st being Jackson Wall, and 22nd being Zach Clausen, our 22-car field. Before we get to our interviews, let's take take this small break for our word from our sponsor.
This interview portion of our programming is brought to you by Mills Insurance Agency, millsinski.com, where you can find all your insurance needs in the state of Kentucky. Thank you once again to Nick Mills for his continued support in Season 13.
As that will bring in our race winner here of Jason Landry. A dominant performance today, able to get the pole and did not look back. How are you able to do it, and just how are you able to make so much time on the rest of the field tonight?
I think I have a small advantage. I'm definitely a road guy, so I'm used to road tracks. This car and this combo of track is very difficult, so trying to play it safe a little bit around people. But yeah, it's just I think as long as I kept it clean, everybody expected me to win this. So there's a lot of pressure on me to win it, but it was nice that I actually delivered on it.
Yeah, you able to keep it clean tonight? Just kind of tell you how tough was it really, especially once those tires kind of start to wear off. I know it kind of gets a little bit slippy and slidey a little bit, but just kind of how tough. How did that tire wear make that things a little bit difficult later in the run, and just to kind of make it even more difficult to try and keep it together?
Yeah, it's definitely difficult because there's a lot of first gear corners here, so there's a lot of power in this car, and on exits it's easy to burn up those rear tires. I was playing it safe and keeping it in second a lot, so I was able to manage my tire wear quite well, especially if I'm not fighting with anybody. It's a little easier for me to manage that stuff. I had a bit of a gap, so I just changed tires in the pit stop just to play it safe in case there was a late caution. You didn't really need to change tires here, but I just did it since I had the space to do it. But yeah, this track is so challenging. So anybody who doesn't normally do road courses and they finished it, like, that's impressive on its own. Like, it's such a hard track.
Now, you're still able to dominate today and get that race win, but before we sign off on the way, any sponsor to thank for today's race win?
I just want to thank my teammates at Ignition. Nick was here and Jared was here. So they kept us chatting. I think Jared had a bit of bad luck, but he's normally very fast on road courses. So thanks to them, and thanks to BRL and for you, Aaron, for putting on the broadcast.
Once again, congrats on your race win. We'll see you next week at Talladega.
Sounds good. Super Speedway. Here we go.
So that was our race winner of Jason Landry. We'll bring in our second place finisher of David Medina. As David Medina able to pick up second. Not the race you definitely wanted, but you're able to really make a big comeback there from that lap one incident. So just kind of how are you able to make that drive through the field and drive back up to second and just get through the field the whole race?
Yeah, that turn one just bit me, got loose, and got some damage on the left nose. I had to get some repairs and stuff, and then just decided to pit when the pit lane was closed, kind of get as much damage as possible, and then it was just a matter of trying to be patient, take the openings as they were there, and there's certain areas on the track where you can make passes. So when I had the car set up there, I just decided to go into some of those passing zones and make the passes when I could, but didn't want to force it. Really didn't expect to be able to drive back up to P2, but yeah, happy that we were able to do so.
So yeah, this P2 definitely good enough finish for you. You still lost a little bit of points to Jason Landry out in front for the pro points lead, but still able not lose too much there. Just kind of how are you gonna be able to kind of take the second place, build some momentum for the back half of this season, and try and chase down for that championship?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that Jason was going to gain points on me on this track. He's just really good on it. These kind of courses are his bread and butter, and so I knew it was going to be a challenge to try and stay and close the point gaps up. But was hoping to be able to stay out and gain a lap lead, but he just had too big of a gap on me to be able to do so. But we'll just go on to the next couple of races and see if our luck kind of switches back over and just stay at it. Just got to do what we always been doing, which is trying to be consistent and clean, and let the results fall where they do.
Yeah, still able to pick up a solid second place finish tonight, today. But before we send off on any sponsor link over to today's second place run.
Just a shout out to my team Polkum, all the guys on that team there. Appreciate all those guys out there. It's a tough course and has some good finishes with those guys. So appreciate all those guys and all the admin guys. Appreciate the admins and then you up in the booth for broadcasting this.
All right, once again, congrats on your second place run. We'll see you next week at Talladega.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So that was our second place finisher of David Medina. We'll bring our best AM driver of Brandon Finley, our fourth place finisher, our best AM driver tonight. And he's the best AM driver out of the rest of them, kind of sandwiched in between about 6 pros there. But you're able to gain a lot of points tonight, able to get a solid fourth place run. Just kind of talk us through your race today and just how you're able to get a solid fourth place run.
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks you guys for doing this. That's super kind of you. I mean, really today was patience. We spent a lot of time practicing, and I think that's what leads to this. And it's not qualifying speed. It's the practicing with cars around you, because it was a demolition derby. Lap 12, I was going into turn 4, and there was a car coming the wrong way completely and managed to get out of him. So it's really just a handful of luck and not pushing it. All right, I could have run 130s, 131s, but we're going to stick 132, 133 and just try to keep it clean. And I think that's it was more of survival than it was speed.
Yeah, you're still able to get a very solid fourth place run from that, and able to be a lot better than the rest of the AM field. You're a little bit further back in the points, but you're going to gain a lot of points today from today's race. On everyone in front of you. So just how are you going to use this momentum to kind of build on the rest of this season and try to kind of build to that AM championship?
Yeah, I'm newer to the league. I'm a rookie here this year, so it's all about kind of filling things out. We had a second place at Michigan, and that was huge, one of the AM wins, and then so this would be the second AM win. I think it's really just kind of avoiding wrecks. That's what happened between that second place and now, has just been kind of getting caught up in maybe other people's stuff or maybe kind of pushing the issues. So I think really it's just patience. Use today as a starting point of patience. Be there at the end. I'd rather be 5th at the end than 12th and wrecked out at the end, you know what I mean, or 20th wrecked out. So I really think it's just going to be that.
Yeah, so you're able to still pick up a fourth place finish from just kind of survival. We'll see how you can do in the rest of the season. But before we send it off on to make any sponsor to thank for tonight's AM win or fourth place finish.
Just shout out to the league. Shout out to the Puckett family and everybody that's going through their struggles right now and still being able to support this league and things like that. It's really cool to see this community that I'm new to, how they've been able to rally around. Some heartbreak, and it's just really cool. So shout out to the Bonfire Racing League, and shout out to you guys for doing this broadcast.
And once again, congrats on your AM win today, and we'll see you next week at Talladega.
Thank you, sir.
So that was our fourth place finisher, our best AM driver for Brandon Finley there. He'll pick up a solid fourth place finish today. And that'll wrap up our interviews there, but it's definitely a exciting race from Chicago today. We saw a few drive-ups through the field from David Medina, able to drive all the way back from the back after being involved in that lap 1 incident. But definitely a fun kind of first road course of the season. We got another road course coming up here in just a couple weeks. Later in the season, I believe there'll be a Watkins Glen. But next week we won't be going. Normally we do follow. The schedule mostly follows the real-life NASCAR Cup Series schedule, for the exception of next week, as they will go to Talladega instead of Sonoma. But Talladega next week for the for this series, so they'll definitely be fun going to the Super Speedway, completely different kind of racetrack there. But before we get there, coming up next here on the Legends Racing Network tomorrow night, we'll have the 5 Points Racing League Turnkey Network Solution Series season finale at Las Vegas at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And on Tuesday night, we'll have the Legends Racing League Gen 4 Series at Chicagoland at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll have the Superstar Cup Chase Race number 2 at Sonoma at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And on Thursday night, we'll have the Undisputed Cup Series at Las Vegas for 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time. And on Friday night, we'll have the Inter Cup Series coming back from their 4th of July off week at Iowa at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And next week, we'll have same time as today, 7:50 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll see the Bonfire Racing League at Talladega next Sunday morning. So that was definitely a fun race here from Chicago. We'll hope to see you next time here on the Legends Racing Network. I'm Aaron Brown, and so long here from Chicago. We'll see you next time here on the Legends Racing Network.